For thousands of years, riders have communicated with horses by inserting a bit in the sensitive area of the animal's mouth and manipulating it to steer him in the desired direction. The first bits were made of rope, wood, and even bone. Over time, bits have become far more elaborate. With silver and gold embellishments, these Western-style bits are definitely an extravagance. But serious riders don't mind putting their money where their horse's mouth is. To make a bit, the maker first pounds his name onto a curved steel piece. This is the part of the bit that the reins attach to. He stamps one letter at a time to make the lettering fit the curvature of this part. He aims a torch at the center of a steel bar to soften it so it can be bent entirely by hand. He bends the steel around fixtures to shape it into the bit mouthpiece. The mouthpiece will rest on the horse's tongue and the toothless sections of the mouth between the front and back teeth. The size and contours must be exact in order for it to sit properly in the horse's mouth. He pounds the part that will lie on the tongue to give it a downward curve. He trims and shapes the mouthpiece a little more and polishes it until it gleams. He inserts steel balls in both ends and tack welds them to the mouthpiece. The balls are part of a hinge mechanism. He now permanently welds the balls to the mouthpiece. Next, he installs a copper roller on the mouthpiece. The roller will act as a kind of soother, providing an outlet for nervous tongue action. He sands the end of a curved steel rod to bevel the edge. It will be part of one of the bit's shanks. He places the top part of the bit shank in a fixture, followed by 3 curved rods and a ring for the reins. Now perfectly aligned, he welds all the parts together. This bit shank is now ready for some decorative touches. He welds tiny beads of stainless steel to the shank, making it look like a row of pearls. He gives the bit's second shank the same beaded look. He assembles the shanks to the 2 ends of the mouthpiece. The 2 shanks are ornamental yet functional, connecting the bit mouthpiece to the bridle and reins. He welds the hinge pins to the shanks. Next, an engraver cuts decorative shapes in sterling silver, wriggling the tool for a zigzag effect around the edges. He carves swirls onto it. It takes years of practice to perfect this artistry. One false move, and he'd ruin the part. Once the engraving is complete, he brushes an acid cleaning solution on the back. He then melts a tin and silver alloy and applies it to the back of the engraved piece, spreading it for maximum coverage. This molten metal will serve as solder to fuse the engraved part to the shank. To prepare the shank, he heats it from the bottom and cleans it with more of the acid solution. He applies more solder and transfers the engraved silver to the bit shank. He reheats the shank to ensure the solder is completely molten before cooling and fusing the parts together. The engraving is now one with the shank, and he washes it with clear tap water. After he solders more engravings to the bit, he polishes the silver until it gleams. Now the bit just needs the head stall. That's the leather harness that holds the bit in the horse's mouth. He slips the head stall tabs into rings on the bit shanks and screws the ends of each tab very tightly together. Crafted entirely by hand, it takes a couple of days to make one of these bits. After that, it's time to take it for a test trot.